I still remember the moment my hand stopped moving. It was a calm afternoon, the kind of afternoon that feels safe, quiet, predictable. I was in my garden, kneeling near the flowers I had planted myself. The soil was soft between my fingers. There was a light breeze. The leaves were whispering. For a moment, everything felt normal. And then, something inside me shifted. At first, I thought it was nothing, just a little dizziness. Maybe I stood up too quickly. Maybe I was tired. But the feeling did not go away. It grew, slowly, like something spreading inside my chest. A strange pressure. Not sharp, not painful, just wrong. I placed my hand over my heart. I remember saying softly, "What is this?" But no one heard me. The garden suddenly felt too quiet, too still. My fingers went cold. The small plant I was holding slipped away. I tried to stand up, but my body did not respond. My legs felt like they did not belong to me anymore. The world tilted, the sky blurred, and then everything collapsed into darkness. I expected silence. I expected nothing. But instead, I was still there, thinking, aware. That was the first thing that frightened me. I remember asking myself, why am I still conscious? There was no body, no breath, no heartbeat, and yet I existed, floating in something I could not understand. The darkness around me was not empty. That is what people get wrong. It was not just black. It felt alive. Not alive like a person, but alive in a way that made my mind uneasy. Like something was aware of me, watching, waiting. I tried to open my eyes, but I could not feel them. I tried to move my hands, but there were no hands. That was when the truth began to sink in, slowly, coldly. I was not in my body anymore. Panic rose inside me, not loud, not chaotic, but deep, heavy. The kind of fear that does not scream. It just sits inside you and grows. I tried to call out, "Hello? Is anyone there?" But there was no voice. Still, something heard me. I am sure of it, because the darkness responded. The space around me shifted, like thick shadows moving in slow motion. And then I heard it, a low, deep sound. Not a voice, not exactly, more like a vibration, a presence. It did not speak in words, but I understood it. And what I understood made my fear worse. It felt like a quiet answer to a question I had not fully asked yet. You are not where you think you are. My thoughts became sharp, clear, almost too clear. And then the question came to me. Am I dead? The moment I thought it, the darkness felt heavier, closer, like it moved toward me. And without words, I felt the answer. Yes. I do not know how I knew, but I knew. And that was the moment something inside me broke. I tried to go back, to my body, to my garden, to anything familiar, but I could not move. I was stuck in this endless space. Then suddenly, I started hearing voices, faint at first, like echoes from very far away, crying, shouting, calling my name. And then I recognized them, my husband, my daughter. Their voices were filled with panic, fear, pain. They were trying to reach me, but they felt so far away, like I was slipping away from them, or maybe they were slipping away from me. I tried to answer. I tried to scream, "I am here," but nothing came out. No sound, no movement, just helpless awareness. And then something touched me, not on my skin, but deeper, inside whatever I had become. The touch was cold, heavy, unfamiliar. It did not feel human. It felt ancient. And when it touched me, everything changed. Suddenly, I was no longer in the darkness alone. Images exploded around me, fast, sharp, uncontrollable. My life, but not like memories. No, this was something else. I was inside them, living them again. Every moment, every choice, every mistake. Every time I ignored someone who needed me. Every word I said that hurt someone. Every silence that caused pain. I felt everything again, but stronger, much stronger. The pain I gave others. I felt it as if it was happening to me. I wanted it to stop. I begged for it to stop, but nothing listened. It kept going, scene after scene, emotion after emotion, until something came forward, something I had buried, something I never wanted to remember. And when that memory appeared, the darkness around me changed. It became heavier, closer, almost suffocating. And I realized something terrifying. This place, this presence, it was not just showing me my life. It was judging me, silently, patiently, waiting. And deep inside, I felt it clearly. Something was about to happen next, something worse. I tried to escape it. I do not know how, but I tried. Maybe you understand this feeling. When something inside you refuses to accept what is happening. When your mind says, "This cannot be real." That is what I felt. I kept thinking, there must be a way back. Back to my body, back to my garden, back to the life I just lost without warning. But the more I resisted, the heavier everything became. The darkness around me tightened, like it was reacting to my thoughts, watching me struggle, learning from me. And then, suddenly, everything stopped. The memories, the voices, the movement, even the darkness became still, completely still. That silence was worse than anything before, because it felt like something was about to begin, not end, begin. Then I felt it again, that presence, closer this time, much closer. It did not touch me immediately. It circled me, slowly, like something observing, studying. I could not see it, but I could feel where it was, and every time it moved closer, a deep cold spread inside me, not on the outside, inside, like it was reaching into my existence itself. I remember thinking, "What are you?" And this time, I got something clearer, not words, but a meaning that formed directly in my mind. "You already know." That answer terrified me, because a part of me did know, a deep, hidden part, the part we ignore while we are alive, the part that remembers everything we try to forget. Before I could understand more, it happened. The darkness beneath me opened. There is no other way to explain it. It split, like a deep void tearing apart, and I began to fall. Not fast, not slow, just falling without direction, without control. The strange thing was, there was no wind, no sensation of speed, just the feeling of leaving one place and entering something deeper, much deeper. As I fell, the space around me started changing. The darkness was no longer empty. Shapes began to form, faint at first, then clearer. Shadows, moving, not like objects, like figures, but not fully human, distorted, broken, shifting. I felt them before I understood them. Pain, regret, fear. These emotions filled the space, heavy, thick, almost suffocating. And then I realized something disturbing. These were not just shadows. They were others, other souls, or whatever we become after death. Some of them moved slowly. Some seemed stuck. Some were reaching, as if trying to escape something. And then, one of them noticed me. I do not know how, but I felt it. Its attention turned toward me, sudden, sharp. And in that moment, a wave of emotion hit me. Not mine, its. desperation, loneliness, endless suffering. It reached toward me, stretching, pulling, trying to hold on to me. And I felt something being pulled from inside me, my energy, my awareness, like it wanted to drag me into whatever it was trapped in. I panicked. For the first time, real panic. Not confusion, not fear, pure panic. I tried to move away, and somehow I did. Not by moving my body, but by pushing with my will. The connection broke, suddenly, violently, and the figure disappeared back into the shadows. But the feeling it left behind, it stayed. That emptiness, that hunger, that suffering, I could still feel it. And then I understood something terrifying. This place was not random. This place had levels, layers, and I was going deeper. The presence returned, stronger now, no longer distant. It was guiding this, controlling it, watching how I reacted, judging, always judging. Then the falling stopped, abruptly. I was no longer moving. I was somewhere else. The space here felt different, darker, but not empty, more focused, like everything here had a purpose. And in front of me, something began to form, slowly, out of the darkness. At first, it looked like a shape, then a figure, tall, still, not fully visible, but enough to understand. This was not like the others. This was something else, something higher, or maybe deeper. I could not tell. It did not move. It just stood there, facing me. And even without a face, I knew it was looking directly at me. I felt exposed, completely exposed, like every part of me was visible. Every thought, every memory, every secret. Nothing was hidden. I wanted to look away, but I could not. And then it came closer. One step, slow, heavy, and with that single step, a new wave of memories hit me. But these were different. These were not about small mistakes. These were the moments that changed everything, the choices that shaped my life, the ones I justified, the ones I ignored, the ones I buried deep inside myself. And now there was no hiding. I felt shame, deep, unbearable shame. I wanted to disappear, to stop existing, but the presence did not allow it. It held me there, forced me to face it. And then, for the first time, it spoke. Not in sound, but directly into my being. Clear, cold, unavoidable. Do you understand now? I tried to answer, but I did not know what to say, because deep inside, I did understand something, but not everything. And I was afraid of what came next, because I could feel it. This was not the end. This was only the beginning of something much worse. I could not answer it, not because I did not want to, but because something inside me was breaking apart. That question, do you understand now? It did not feel like a question. It felt like a door. And I knew if I answered it, something would change forever. The figure stood in front of me, still, silent, waiting. And for a moment, everything slowed down. The darkness stopped moving. The distant shadows faded. Even that heavy pressure became quiet. It was just me and it, facing each other. And then something unexpected happened. The fear inside me shifted. It did not disappear, but it changed. It became clarity, a painful kind of clarity, the kind that forces you to see things exactly as they are. No excuses, no lies, no comfort. And slowly, I understood what it was showing me. This was not punishment, not exactly. This was truth, pure truth, the kind we spend our whole lives avoiding. I remembered moments I had completely forgotten. Not big moments, small ones. The ones we think do not matter. The time my daughter was talking and I was not really listening. The moment my husband needed support and I stayed silent. The day someone hurt me and I chose to carry that pain instead of letting it go. All those moments, they were not small. They were everything. And now I could feel their weight fully, completely. I felt the distance I created between myself and the people I loved. I felt the quiet pain I caused without realizing it. And the worst part, I felt the time I wasted. Time I thought I had more of. Time I believed would always be there, but it was gone. All of it, gone. I understand. The words did not come from my mouth, but they formed inside me, and somehow that was enough. The moment I accepted it, everything changed again. The figure moved closer, not threatening this time, not heavy, just present. And for the first time, I felt something different from it. Not cold, not judgment, something else, something I was not expecting. Calm, a deep, silent calm. And then the darkness around us began to shift, but not like before. This time it was opening, slowly, like something was revealing itself. A faint light appeared in the distance, very faint, almost invisible, but I could feel it, warm, soft, completely different from everything I had felt so far. I focused on it, and the more I focused, the stronger it became. The presence beside me did not stop me. It allowed it, watched me, as if this was part of the process. The light grew, little by little, and as it did, something incredible happened. The weight inside me began to lift. Not completely, but enough to notice. The fear loosened its grip. The heaviness faded. And for the first time since all of this began, I felt something close to peace. But it was not simple peace. It was mixed with sadness, deep sadness, because now I could see everything clearly. I could see my life, not as memories, but as a whole, a complete picture. And I realized something that hurt more than anything else. Life is fragile. So fragile that we never truly understand it while we are living it. We rush, we ignore, we delay, we think we have time, but we do not. We never do. The light came closer, or maybe I was moving toward it. I could not tell, but it felt inviting, safe, like something I had known a long time ago, but forgotten. And then I heard something, a voice, soft, gentle, familiar, so familiar that it stopped everything inside me. Come. That single word, it felt like home, and suddenly I remembered, a feeling, a presence from long ago, not from this life, something older, something deeper. Tears, or whatever replaces tears in that place, filled my being. I wanted to go. I needed to go. The pain, the fear, everything behind me felt distant now, like a bad dream fading away. I moved toward the light, slowly, drawn by something I could not resist. And just as I was about to reach it, something pulled me back, hard, violently. The light flickered, the warmth disappeared, and the darkness rushed in again, stronger than before. No, the word echoed inside me, not from the light, from somewhere else. Something was not allowing me to leave. I felt resistance, like two forces pulling me in different directions, one calling me forward, the other dragging me back. And in that moment, I heard them again, my family, louder this time, closer, crying, begging, "Wake up, please, come back." Their voices were filled with pain, real pain. And suddenly, I felt something I had not felt in this entire experience. Connection. a strong emotional pull to them, to my life, to the world I had left behind. The light in front of me began to fade, slowly, gently, like it was not forcing me to choose, like it was waiting, giving me a moment, a choice. And for the first time, I realized something terrifying. I was standing between two worlds, one pulling me forward, one pulling me back, and I had to choose. I stood there, between two worlds, and for a moment, time did not exist. There was no past, no future, only a single choice waiting inside me. In front of me, the light, soft, warm, peaceful. It did not hurt my eyes. It did not demand anything from me. It simply existed, like a quiet promise, a promise of rest, a promise that everything I had carried in life, every regret, every fear, every silent pain, would finally dissolve. I could feel it. If I stepped forward, all of it would end. Not in a frightening way, but in a gentle, final way. And behind me, there was no light, only distance, only echoes. But those echoes, they were alive. My daughter crying, my husband calling my name again and again. Their voices were broken, shaking, desperate. And every time I heard them, something inside me pulled backward, a connection I could not break, even if I wanted to. For a moment, I tried to ignore it. I focused only on the light. I told myself, maybe it is time. Maybe this is where the pain ends. Maybe this is where I finally rest. The thought felt peaceful, too peaceful. And that is when something inside me questioned it, a quiet voice, my own voice. But what about them? The moment that thought appeared, the light in front of me shifted slightly. Not weaker, not stronger, just aware. As if it heard that question, as if it was waiting for me to answer it myself. I slowly turned, just enough to feel the other side again. And the moment I did, everything rushed back. The memories, not the painful ones from before, but the real ones, the living ones. My daughter laughing as a child, running through the same garden where I collapsed. My husband sitting quietly beside me, saying nothing but always being there. The small moments, the ones we ignore, the ones we think are ordinary, but now they felt like everything. And I realized something that hit me harder than any fear I had felt before. Those moments were still unfinished. My story was not complete. Come, the soft voice from the light called again, closer this time, warmer, more inviting. It felt like home, like something ancient, something eternal. And for a second, I almost gave in. I almost moved forward, because it would have been easier, so much easier. No more pain, no more confusion, no more weight, just peace, endless peace. But then, please, come back. My daughter's voice broke through again, stronger this time, closer, filled with something that shook me completely. Fear of losing me, real human fear. And in that moment, something inside me changed, completely. The peace in front of me suddenly felt incomplete. Not wrong, but not mine, not yet. Because I understood something very clearly. Peace is not something you escape to. It is something you earn, by finishing what you were given. And I had not finished. Not as a mother, not as a wife, not as a human being. I looked at the light one last time, and this time I truly saw it. Not just as an escape, but as a destination. A place that would still be there when my time was truly complete. And in that moment, I felt something from it. Not sadness, not disappointment, but acceptance. A deep, calm acceptance. As if it was saying, I will be here when you are ready. Tears filled my being. Not physical tears, but something deeper. A release, a realization. And slowly, I turned away from the light. Not because I did not want it, but because I was not done with life. The moment I made that choice, everything changed, violently. The space around me collapsed. The darkness twisted like a storm. The calm disappeared, and I felt myself being pulled back, fast, too fast, like something was dragging me through layers of reality. There was pressure, a crushing, unbearable pressure, like my entire existence was being forced back into something too small. And then pain, sharp, explosive, real. I felt my chest, tight, heavy, burning, and suddenly, air. It rushed into me like fire. I gasped, loud, desperate, like I had been drowning for years. My body shook. My heart pounded violently. Every part of me hurt, but I was alive. My eyes opened slowly, blurry, wet, confused. The world felt loud, too real. And then I saw them. My husband, leaning over me, crying openly. My daughter, holding my hands so tightly, like she was afraid I would disappear again. "You are back, you are back." She kept repeating it, her voice shaking, breaking. And in that moment, I understood something no one can truly understand until they experience it. I had crossed something, not a dream, not imagination, something real, something beyond this life. The days that followed were not normal. Nothing felt normal anymore. The garden where I collapsed looked the same, but it did not feel the same. The sky looked the same, but it felt deeper. Everything felt temporary, fragile, like it could disappear at any moment. And for the first time in my life, I truly saw it. Life is not guaranteed, not even the next breath. I changed. Not in a loud way, not in a dramatic way, but in a real way. I listen now when someone speaks. I say things before it is too late. I forgive faster. I hold on tighter. Because I know something most people do not fully understand. One day, you will not get another chance. And sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I still feel it, that place, that darkness, that presence, watching, waiting. Not in a threatening way, but in a certain way, a knowing way, like it is part of something bigger, something we cannot escape. But I also remember the light, that peaceful, endless light, and I am not afraid of it anymore, not at all, because now I understand. It is not something to run toward, and it is not something to fear. It is something that waits patiently until your story is truly complete. Maybe you fear death. Most people do. I did too. But listen carefully. Death is not the end of your story. It is the moment your story is revealed, exactly as it is, without lies, without excuses, without time left to change it. And that is why what you do now matters. Every word, every choice, every moment. Because when your time comes, you will stand there too, between what you lived and what comes next. And after that day, after I collapsed in that quiet garden, after I saw what waits beyond all of this, I no longer fear death, but I finally, truly understand life.